In the realm of human interactions, psychology plays a powerful role in shaping how we influence others. Whether we realize it or not, understanding the depths of the human mind can open doors to control, manipulate, or persuade people in ways that they themselves may not even notice. In this video, we're going to explore 9 dark psychological tricks rooted in ancient Stoic wisdom and modern-day psychology. These tricks, when understood and applied, can grant you an edge in managing emotional dynamics with women. But remember, with great power comes great responsibility. It's important to use these insights ethically. Let's get started. Lesson 1. The power of silence and controlled emotional responses. One of the most potent tools for influence lies not in what you say, but in what you don't say. Silence, strategically used, can exert an enormous amount of control in any interaction. When you refrain from reacting emotionally, it gives you the upper hand in conversations and situations. This technique taps directly into Stoic philosophy, which teaches that our emotions often control us, but if you can learn to master your emotions, you begin to control the emotional landscape around you. When engaging with a woman, keep your emotional reactions measured. If she expects a particular reaction from you and you give her silence instead, it creates intrigue and forces her to fill the void, often leading to her revealing more of her own thoughts and feelings. This is where control begins to shift. The key here is to maintain a composed, calm demeanor regardless of the situation. The absence of your emotional reaction forces the other person to reflect on their behavior, creating an imbalance where you hold the emotional leverage. Think of silence as your greatest tool in moments of tension or uncertainty. A well-placed pause can make you seem thoughtful, confident, and in control. Use this technique to shift the power dynamic in your favor by making her seek your approval or response. Lesson 2. The scarcity principle. Scarcity is a basic principle of human psychology that suggests people want what they can't have. When something is scarce, its perceived value increases. This applies to your time, attention, and affection. If you make yourself too available or seem overly eager, the value you bring to the table decreases in her eyes. To apply this effectively, you need to create a sense of exclusivity around your presence. Keep her on her toes, make her work for your time and energy, and ensure that she never feels entirely secure in having your complete attention. This will foster a sense of desire and emotional investment on her part. By making yourself less available, you make her chase after the moments where she can have your full attention. This control dynamic is subtle but powerful. Women, like all people, tend to place a higher value on things that are hard to attain or hold on to. Ensure you maintain a balance, though. Scarcity works best when applied in measured doses. Lesson 3. The push-pull technique. A classic dark psychological trick is the push-pull method, which creates an emotional roller coaster. This method keeps her invested and confused by alternating between moments of warmth and detachment. The unpredictability keeps her emotionally hooked, as she never knows exactly what to expect from you. One moment, you can give her validation, affection, or compliments. The next, you pull back and create emotional distance. This technique works because it mirrors the ups and downs of a romantic relationship, making it feel more intense and meaningful. Human beings, by nature, crave resolution, and when you leave her hanging between highs and lows, her brain fixates on finding equilibrium, which often means seeking your approval or affection even more. The push-pull method is powerful, but should be used with care. It plays with emotional vulnerability, so always consider the ethical implications of how far you want to take it. Keep her guessing, but don't leave her in emotional distress. Lesson 4. Framing and reframing. Framing is all about setting the context of a situation in a way that benefits you. You control the narrative, the boundaries of how things are perceived. This is an essential trick in influencing someone's thoughts and feelings. When interacting with a woman, framing could be as simple as defining the terms of your relationship. If you position yourself as someone who is hard to get and worth pursuing, you have framed yourself as a valuable person in her eyes. When she adopts this mindset, she's more likely to go out of her way to meet your expectations or standards. Reframing, on the other hand, is the art of shifting how a situation is perceived. Let's say she's upset about something trivial. Instead of validating the negativity, you reframe it as a positive growth experience, subtly shifting her perception. This helps you control how she views both herself and the interaction, making you the emotional guide in the relationship. Lesson 5. Emotional anchoring. Anchoring is a technique where you associate specific emotions with your presence. You want to create emotional highs in her life that she connects directly to you. The idea is to make her feel certain emotions, happiness, excitement, intrigue, whenever she's around you, so that eventually she starts seeking those emotions out by seeking you out. To apply this, pay attention to the moments when she's feeling particularly joyful or engaged, and subtly reinforce those emotions with a phrase, gesture, or touch. Over time, these associations will strengthen, making you the anchor for those positive experiences. Every time she wants to feel that excitement, she'll instinctively think of you. Remember, people naturally gravitate toward those who make them feel good, and by becoming the source of her emotional highs, you begin to have control over her desire to be with you. Lesson 6. Inducing dependency through unpredictability. One of the most insidious psychological tricks is to create an emotional dependency through unpredictability. The idea is simple. Be unpredictable in your behavior so that she never feels fully secure in what to expect from you. Humans crave consistency and routine, and when they don't get it, their mind becomes fixated on the unpredictable source. By alternating between affection, distance, kindness, and detachment, you create an emotional whirlwind that keeps her guessing. She'll spend more time thinking about you, trying to decode your behavior, which in turn increases her emotional investment. This technique works particularly well in the early stages of a relationship, where you're still establishing the dynamics. The key is to be inconsistent enough to create intrigue, but not so erratic that you push her away. Find the balance between keeping her emotionally hooked and building a deeper connection. Lesson 7. The use of mystery and enigma. Mystery is an age-old tool of attraction. People are naturally drawn to what they can't fully understand, and women are no exception. By keeping certain aspects of your life hidden or ambiguous, you become more intriguing. Don't reveal everything about yourself up front. Share just enough to pique her interest, but leave enough unsaid that she's constantly wondering about you. Whether it's your past experiences, future plans, or personal beliefs, maintaining an air of mystery makes you seem more complex and harder to figure out. This perceived depth keeps her engaged as she works to uncover more about you. Mystery also signals self-control. It shows that you're not desperate for validation or attention, and that you have a life full of secrets and stories that she may or may not be privy to. The allure of unlocking these unknowns can be intoxicating. Lesson 8. The art of mirroring. Mirroring is one of the most subtle yet effective psychological tricks for gaining control over someone's emotions. It involves subtly mimicking the other person's body language, speech patterns, and even emotional tone. By doing this, you create an unconscious sense of rapport and similarity. When she feels like you're on the same wavelength as her, she'll naturally feel more comfortable around you, more understood, and more connected. This creates an emotional bond that is difficult to break, as humans are hardwired to feel safe around those who are similar to them. The trick with mirroring is to make it seamless and natural, You don't want to mimic every gesture she makes, but occasionally aligning your movements and tone with hers will create an unconscious connection. Over time, this will give you more influence over her decisions and emotions. Lesson 9. Leveraging neglect and absence. There's a saying, absence makes the heart grow fonder. Sometimes the most effective way to exert control is by withdrawing your presence. When you pull back, you create a vacuum that she will want to fill with your attention. This is particularly effective if she's grown used to your consistent attention. By suddenly stepping back, you make her realize how much she misses your presence. The Stoics believed in the power of detachment, and this philosophy can be applied here. By not being overly available or dependent on her attention, you project strength and self-control. This in turn makes her crave your attention even more, as humans often value what they no longer have access to. Absence allows you to control the flow of the relationship by creating a space for her to reflect on how much she values you. When you re-enter the picture, you do so on your terms, with her now emotionally invested in keeping you around.